Welcome into the Bro Force Squad podcast. Oh, thank you, Emperor Palpatine. We are the Bro Force Squad. I am your host, Jeff Hornacek. Thanks for tuning in to listen to us. This is episode 16. Wow, our podcast is old enough to get behind the wheel of a car. That's pretty fucking scary. Let's go around the horn and meet the bros. First off, our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger. Matt, what's going on?
So you could fuck our podcast, but you can't get it drunk?
Well, all right. And now into the lab, the other member of our podcast, the mad scientist, Brian Banner. Brian, say something less controversial than what Matt Geiger just said.
Well, as long as the podcast consents, it's okay in most states, right?
But also the other person
has... My bad.
Okay, look, we're not lawyers. If we need a legal question, we go to our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. But we are not. We are three bros here to talk superheroes, movies. And you checked her ID before you hooked up with her? It's weird. And superhero movies. Anyway, if you have not listened to our show before, welcome in. Great to have you. We like to break things down into three segments as we talk about them. The first is the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is chest day, ladies and gentlemen. So our chest day topic today is this past week we finally got the release of the teaser trailer, and boy was it a teaser, for Star Wars Episode 9, The Last Jedi, so of course the bros are gonna fucking talk about it. Now before we get to a question from the internet that we want to answer, let's just go around our own Jedi Temple and get a few opinions on it. So Banner, obviously you saw it, obviously you Star Wars gasmed. What are your thoughts on The Last Jedi teaser trailer?
I also come to my pants when I saw it. I fucking loved it. I wasn't alive when Empire came out, but I can only imagine this is how people felt when they first saw the trailer for that. I mean, it uses similar music to Empire Strikes Back. It feels right, but yet there's so many things that still don't make sense, and it's so still wrong. Just take my fucking money. Let's go. I'm ready.
I like how we don't know so much about it, and I hope in this day and age that no one fucking spoils it for me, because if I find out before I go into this movie that I'm going to actually just bring in a lightsaber and kill younglings.
Kind of like how you knew that Han died?
Yeah, that was actually spoiled for me. It's so stupid. Geiger, what were your thoughts on the Last Jedi trailer?
Well, first off, that was your fault because you didn't go on opening night. I understand you went with your mom, but teaser to mini, I got enough of this because all I want to know is one thing, and that was the tone, and they gave that to me. And the tone of this is going to be extremely dark, Rogue One-ish probably, definitely Empire Strikes Back-ish. Dark, well, yeah, but it's not 72 or whatever, whenever that came out. But I am very pumped for this teaser trailer. It was fantastic. We got all of Luke. The score was fantastic. Jeff, that's your segue.
Yeah, the music to me, Banner, this is normally your thing, but the music to me is what really set this apart. I was sitting at my desk at work, and, you know, it was kind of like the cold open with Rey. You know, she, like, wakes up, like, she just had a one-night stand with, like, some fat trucker that she regrets. And then it did the bow, bow, and I was like, let's go. I started doing push-ups. I flipped a table in my office. Actually, I'm on temporary work release because of it, whatever the fuck that means. But the score is what set the tone, and obviously with Rian Johnson directing, I think we're going to get a much more visceral feel, and that was the vibe that I got from the brief teaser.
Also, one more thing. I think we might actually see what Finn is, like how he fits into this. Is he a Jedi? I think we're going to actually get a Finn storyline that was kind of lost in The Force Awakens for me.
Yeah. That'll move us on to our internet question, which we dug up. This is from Kiki on a Broom. And he or she says, what does, quote, it's time for the Jedi to end mean? Luke going dark? Start of a new order? My brain hurts thinking about it. Great question. And I think ever since the title was revealed of The Last Jedi, something that people have been murdering each other on the internet trying to debate. Geiger, what are your thoughts on this? I know we've brought it up on a previous pod, but now that we've actually seen footage, any other ideas that you have?
Well, the prequels, and I can't remember who said it, they said the Jedi was a religion, which it pretty much is, but I think Luke, as he's gotten older, decided that it's not a religion, it's a drug, and most people abuse it. So whenever he's gone, or whenever his power's fading and he can't stop, you know, the next force, he doesn't trust anyone else with it besides himself. He's seen it tear apart, you know, families, it's, you know, made good people evil, it's tore apart republics. It's done everything, so he thinks that before he leaves this earth, he just needs to destroy it, and the world will be a better place. It's my opinion anyway.
Banner.
I think that this is the start to the prophecy finally being fulfilled. If we remember, in Phantom Menace / A New Hope is the first time we hear about the prophecy. You hear about it in New Hope technically first, but chronologically it's Phantom Menace. We won't get into that whole fucking debacle right now. But the prophecy started with Anakin. If Anakin hadn't had done whatever he done and fucked Natalie Portman and had kids, and then Luke wouldn't have come around, Luke is now going to bring, quote, balance to the Force. And I'm taking half of this from something I read online and putting my own spin on it. No more Jedi, no more Sith. There are just people that have the Force. And I think that is what he is going to bring about. Teaching Rey about the Force, but not pushing Jedi on him or on her and telling her that the Sith are bad and the Jedi are good, like was pushed onto him and all the Jedi and Sith before them. It's just, this is the Force, you do with it what you will.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you can't stop Force-sensitive people. Like, you can end the WNBA, but people are still going to shoot, chicks are still going to shoot hoops in their driveway. So I think when Luke says it's time for the Jedi to end, I think he kind of, to Geiger's point, is like, look, every bad thing that's happened in the universe, every dictator we've had, has all been because of the fucking Jedi. Because you can't keep someone from turning to the dark side because, like he said, people like Anakin that are impulsive or want to use the Force for what they perceive to be good can always be turned. So I think Luke's like, look, we gave this a shot. I'd say like 100 years worth of modern day Jedi, starting in Coruscant with their relationship with the Republic. It hasn't worked out. So let's just retire the Jedi Order and maybe we'll stop having like mass genocides in the galaxy. So,
but maybe not.
Or maybe not. Who knows? All right, guys, that was our chest day segment. What do you do after chest day, though? You got to get a nice protein shake. For me, preferably a strawberry. Mix that with a little bit of water, shake it up. That's what I'm talking about. So our protein shake topic brings us to one of the most popular and hottest franchises in the world. That's right. The 8th film in the Fast and Furious action thriller franchise took in an estimated $532.5 million globally over Easter weekend. That's about what Geiger gets paid annually to do the podcast. This figure makes it the strongest worldwide debut ever, which is fucking ridiculous, marginally overtaking the $529 million taken in by Star Wars The Force Awakens. So we found probably the greatest fan question ever on the internet from our boy DC Draft, who says, great movie or greatest movie? Banner, I'll let you take this one first.
Well, I can't actually answer his question because I haven't seen it yet. I'll be honest with you guys. I was camping over Easter weekend.
No excuse.
And obviously I wasted my money camping because I should have saw this movie. But this is proof that franchises sell. The connected, the long-running shows or movies sell. It's also proof that you don't have to have a great movie to make money. I mean, you have...
All right.
Let's be honest with ourselves. There are other great movies that, quote-unquote, win Oscars, but yet they don't make this much money. And then you have something where, hey, let's blow some shit up, drive some cars, make fun of other people, and it's going to make a shit ton of money. I also think that the reason this made a lot of money is a lot of people wanted to see what this franchise is going to be without their starting quarterback in Paul Walker anymore. Yep. And they just want to see, hey, what's it about? Where is this going? Can it survive without him? And that's why it got such a big opening weekend hit.
You know, they should have replaced Paul Walker with James Vanderbeek because last time a team did that, turned out pretty fucking well, if I remember right. Two things this tells me. First off, DC Draft, the answer is greatest movie. Great question, by the way. But the second thing that it tells me is that this is a record that's not going to last long. Because if this just broke this movie, which Geiger and I both saw Thursday night, check out our review on it. If this set the all-time opening box office weekend record, people are going out to the movies like never before. So I bet this will be broken at least one more time before The Last Jedi comes out. That's my prediction. Geiger.
3 times.
People that call me and you guys millennials, basically old people, say that we're living in idiocracy right now. And I didn't think that was true until Jeff hit me with this stat. How the hell did this make more than Force Awakens? Now, the only thing I can think is that when The Force Awakens came out, but that was shit. There's more Thursday showings now. I know that. So you can't say an opening weekend for Titanic like Fast 5 beat Titanic. That's not true. No one can see Titanic on Thursday at 2 in the afternoon or 7 p.m. in the afternoon. But these movies are tired ass, and I know I use that on Planet of the Apes, but I don't understand how they're making 10 of them. The other night I watched Smoking Aces. Fantastic movie. Better than any Fast movie I've ever seen. They only made one of those probably because they killed off fucking everyone, but they're making 10 of these. The 8th one was terrible. Paul Walker, not in it, was very noticeable. And I'm sorry for shitting on all your questions, man, but he's a DC guy, and so he'll probably like me besides this, but I'm just not a Fast fan. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I didn't like it. And check out our review on it, by the way.
I mean, I'm the Fast defender on this podcast, so I'll say I had a lot of fun in this movie, but it should I don't want to live in a world where this holds the all-time opening weekend box office record.
No,
It's going to get broken 2 weeks when Guardians comes out.
I was going to say, I think Guardians has a shot. I think Spider-Man has a shot.
Spider-Man
I know
has a shot.
Justice League has a shot. And then obviously The Last Jedi should probably come take a shit.
Honestly,
on this
Thor
opening.
may even have a shot.
Yeah, an outside shot.
Alien
for sure.
Covenant has a shot.
I think it's a product of this summer. This is the greatest movie summer or year I've ever been a part of living, I think. And if anyone else can get a year, comment below and say a better year, and I'll look it up. But this movie year is fantastic, and it started with Split, then it went to Get Out, then it went to Logan, and it just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
And the trailers look fantastic on what we have coming up.
And that's leaving out Beauty and the Beast and our Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Power
as well.
Rangers, yeah. All
And
those were
Kong
fantastic.
Skull Island was even good.
And the best is yet to come. So we're living in a fucking great age for movies. All right, Banner, I have a question for you. What's one question that all bros ask each other?
Are you on the pill?
Do you even lift, bro? Which is our fan question comment. We dug these comments up from the deepest, darkest crevices of the internet, and they are good ones. Our first one comes to us from Michael Jark. He says, with Baywatch coming out this summer, my question is, what is the best Dwayne Johnson movie? Geiger, as the biggest WWE fan I've ever met in my fucking life, it would be sacrilegious not to give you a shot at this one first.
Yes, and as a WWE fan, I love to cheat and use a steel chair when the ref's not looking to pin you. So I'm not going to use a movie. I'm going to use a television show because him in Ballers is the best thing he's ever done. If you haven't watched it and you're paying $14.99 a month like me for HBO Go, then go watch Ballers instead of Game of Thrones just for like 10 minutes. You will not be disappointed. I love the Lil Wayne intro they have. He is fantastic. He was a former player. Now he's an agent. There's a ton of NFL just jabs that they take. You know, players beating up strippers, beating up whoever.
It's never
That
happened.
doesn't
Failing
happen.
drug test. Saying that they got hurt lifting when they actually got hurt playing paintball. There's a bunch of cool shit on Ballers. I love it. It's on season 3 right now. Season 1 and 2 is on HBO. Shameless plug for me. But go watch Ballers. That's my favorite, The Rock Johnson.
That's a good one.
Brian.
I wanted to go with the Tooth Fairy, but it's fucking awful. So instead, I actually went with a good movie, and that was Gridiron Gang, which again, kind of the motif here. When The Rock is at his best is when he's doing something related to football. Walking Tall was a close second, so Banner, if you're going to say that, I had to take your thunder a little bit. But Gridiron Gang was pretty awesome. That's kind of my favorite Dwayne Johnson movie. Banner, what do you got?
I was going to say Pain and Gain.
Huh.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bro
I like
movie.
it. I like it.
It's hard to believe
Close
Michael
Journey
Bay.
2, The Mysterious Island.
What?
Your guys'
Complicated.
boner for Michael Bay is just confuses me.
Well, no, I just think it's weird that Michael Bay does a movie like Pain and Gain, and then he does fucking 11 Transformers.
Yeah.
Like, are you a
As it
director
goes through this
or?
pod, I'll never understand it. But
Yeah, like, is he a director or not? I just don't get it. Great question, Michael. Always good to talk some Dwayne Johnson. Our second "Do You Even Lift, Bro?" question comes from Lauren O'Donnell, who says, "This is a great one that we dug up from the internet. Franchise or series that has improved movie to the next movie." This was really hard because when you go look at franchises, a lot of them either get progressively really shitty or they have like a really bad misstep in the middle and then they somehow fucking figure things out in the end. Banner, what do you got for franchise that's just gotten better and better?
I've got a couple for you.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go with the Mummy trilogy, as in The Mummy Returns, and The Mummy Tomb of Dragon Emperor. The first one was pretty good. The second one was awesome, and the third one kind of took a step back, but it was still a pretty good movie.
Jet Li in the third one, right?
Yes.
Nice,
Yes.
nice.
But that was one that really stood out to me that I just, after the first one, you're like, how can they do this? This isn't going to be good. And then you're like, oh, that's pretty fucking good. And then the third one, I think Brendan Fraser just needed money, and so they did that one. Another one that I recently watched were the two Fallen movies, Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen. And I thought both of those were great. Jeff, we actually talked about that today, I think. So those were a few that stood out in my mind.
I think we hit our over-under for Brendan Fraser references on the podcast, meaning he probably gets like a $10 royalty check. So have dinner on us.
Still needs money.
Dinner on us, Brendan Fraser. Geiger, what do you got for franchises?
See, I disagree with you guys a little bit. I had a tough time finding franchises that the first one was pretty good, the second one was fantastic, and the third one just wasn't very good at all, a la Dark Knight, a la Spider-Man. But I picked the Austin Powers franchise. I love the first one. I think the only thing that probably got worse was the women in it, because I loved Elizabeth Hurley, and then I kind of liked Graham, and then I didn't really like Beyonce, but everything else in it got fantastic. To have a comedy on the third one that still makes me laugh, the characters as they went got funnier. I mean, on the second one, you introduced Mini-Me. On the third one, you had Austin Powers' dad, and you had Goldmember. So I thought maybe they didn't get better, but they were just as good, each one. And each one of them, all three of the trilogy, is a very, very strong comedy. So that's mine.
Michael Caine as Austin's dad is just so fucking brilliant. If you've got an issue, here's a tissue. Everything about him not taking himself that... I think two of my favorite Michael Caine movies might be that and Muppet Christmas Carol, because he just doesn't take himself that seriously. Mine was Mission Impossible, which is a franchise that I actually thought was like totally done after the third one, and then they came back with these two new awesome ones in Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation, and the newest one looks badass too, but the main thing here, the first one was like an intellectual thriller, the second one was like really forgettable with Thandie Newton. And then Philip Seymour Hoffman showed up for the third one and gave just a fucking incredible performance. And now this thing, I think now, like I almost look forward to these movies more than James Bond, which is kind of something I never thought I would say. So, on that note, we have been the Bro 4 Squad podcast. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. For Matt Geiger and the mad scientist Brian Banner, I'm Jeff Hornacek. We're going to tell you where to find us. Like us on Facebook, Bro 4 Squad podcast. Follow us on Twitter, at Bro4Squad. Subscribe to us on iTunes, leave us a review there, and do the same on YouTube. Bro4Squad, 3 words. And however you access the internet, whether it's from Wi-Fi on your tablet, mobile device, or your toaster, check us out on bro4squad.com. For the rest of the bros, again, I'm Jeff Hornacek. Thank you, and we will catch you next time. There are two types of people that I can't stand in this world. Those intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch.